session. Thank you, Cody. Do you have anything else for us this morning?
Nope. That's
Okay,
it.
thank you. All right, Dan, I'm sorry.
And I'm going to have to excuse myself because I have to go to video court.
All right.
Okay. We have to replace one fireman, so this is who we're wanting to put on.
Yeah. He's got a lot of experience, too.
Yeah. Probably more than anybody else up there.
Yeah, good. I'm good with that.
Okay. I remember, do we have to motion on that? Didn't we decide? Or?
Probably should, just to keep everything covered. Yeah, geez, I'm bruised.
No, I didn't get bruised up.
I'm sore as hell. Yeah, I remember when it happened, that thing started coming towards me and I kind of bear hugged it. That was a mistake.
He's got too many credentials.
You gotta see the folder you handed me.
Okay, do I hear a motion to go ahead and accept the application for voluntary fire department member from Chris Zimmerman?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign.
The other thing I have is, I'm looking at trying to buy wildland fire helmets, get something lighter. So the helmets we get now are so heavy. I mean, about 20 minutes, I got a headache. Most guys won't wear them if we're fighting wildland fire. At least if we get them a wildland helmet and give it to them, they don't use it. It's on them, not on me or you or anybody else. So.
Yeah, if they're not using what's been issued to them, I think it's time to.
And I don't blame them. Them helmets are huge. You get to ride around the back of a truck, you can't hold your head up. And we still have to have them for structure fires, obviously. These would only be for wildland fires. And basically, it's a hard hat, it's what it is, with NFPA certification, so it goes up about 3 times the price. But
Sure. What would your total price be?
it's going to be, the helmets are around $56 each, and we need 41 of them to cover both Bird City and here. And then, like, if they want the ear and neck protectors, it's a little more money, but I think total we'd be looking around 43 or 45. I just wondered if I could have up to 5,000 if I needed it.
Do you think we can get something like through a Hanson grant or something to help out?
And I might be able to do that forestry grant if we go ahead and buy them and then get the forestry grant and reimburse. But
You can, I figured you couldn't reimburse with a grant.
I think you can as long as it's bought this year.
Okay. I have no
I'll
problem
check
with it.
into
I
it,
have no
but-
problem with it.
Right. No, I think you can as long as it's bought this year. And that's what I thought about doing is when I get the paperwork on it, it's right in
Super.
this.
But I took a peek at Dan's budget, and he's got plenty to.
I think, well, in capital outlay, we budgeted 38 last year, or for this year. I think we spent 20 roughly on the jaws. It's not showing that yet, but I just found out. So there should be, 18 in there for capital outlay, so we spent 5, we should be all right. And if not, I got special fire, I got quite a bit in there.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. We've been extremely lucky this summer, as dry as we've been, that them guys aren't out there every day.
Yeah. And see, we went to the lighter coats. I did get that grant from forestry 2 years ago. We went to the lighter coats.
Need a motion?
Yes, please.
How much are we looking at? You want 5,000?
Up to 5,000, yeah.
I move that go up to $5,000 for the forestry helmets or something.
Wildland fire helmets,
Wildland
yeah.
fires.
I'll second.
Okay, Okay, all in favor of that motion? Aye. Opposed, same sign, so yeah, go forward.
Okay. That's all I got unless you guys have something for me.
No,
How are your trucks doing?
Well, we're good right now. We haven't had any runs for a while. Since all the last repairs were done. But,
I saw you had some out being repaired.
yeah, like I said, up north tears them trucks up bad. You get up north, so. In fact, we had Sherman County come help us once up north, and they're like, they didn't realize it was that rough up there.
Are the side by side and the Humvee, are those available to,
If we
Go on
need
those
them,
kind of
yeah,
calls?
I think so.
yeah, so it might be better to tear up that
And I put our name,
$1,400.
yeah, I put our
Humvee.
name in on a side-by-side through the Forestry Service if they happen to get one, so. If they get one, I'll come in and we'll go from there, but,
All right, well, thank you, Dan.
all right, thanks.
Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, gentlemen.
How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Good. I'm sorry, good morning. How are you, DJ?
Pretty good.
This is what I consider my annual visit. I don't have a lot of issues for you fellows this morning. The first thing you'll read on top is a letter of warning. That letter actually was written in Thomas County. And of course, that is in regard to abandoned oil field water supply wells. You gentlemen will see two letters in the very near future. Abandoned oil field water supply wells that were turned in Cheyenne County, and they will be taken care of by the state, as I promised a year ago when we instituted the water well permit for oil field water supply wells. That permit process has worked better than I had hoped. Before we had the COVID outbreak in the spring, we had permitted 9 oil field water supply wells to date. We have plugged 8 of those. The 9th one was transferred. So right now, I couldn't be happier with the permit process that we have.
Good.
What we did was we brought the oil field people to the realization that they can't just leave those wells, they have to deal with them.
Yeah, and as far as cost, are those reverted back to the original, whoever drilled the
Whoever
wells?
permitted that well has to deal with that.
Okay,
And the investigation process is quite lengthy. As you'll read in that letter, that sometimes there are 3, 4, even 5 layers to get back to who permitted that well. And that all has to be investigated and laid out. The state is doing an excellent job researching this. The lady that's doing this is with the Bureau of Water, Kansas Department of Health and Environment. Very, very busy office, and she's done 5 of them so far for us in the 12 counties that we represent, and we couldn't be happier with what they're doing.
are you finding any resistance from,
Once it's investigated and the history presents itself, there is no discussion. It's just the hand in the cookie jar type thing, and you have to deal with it.
well, this is a good thing all this stuff is documented.
I didn't print everybody pictures, but this is what we find. This is what we find once it's turned in. And there's a couple pages there if you want to look at them, but
I noticed the oil can or whatever that is on top, what, do they just stick something there to let you know where it's at or what?
yeah, pretty much.
How deep are these wells?
Oh, 230 some feet, I believe.
And I take it an animal or somebody could step in there?
Oh, absolutely. It's, there's a lot of things that are wrong in the world, and these are one of them that is wrong. I mean, it's a soda straw into the water table.
Yeah.
We're spraying chemicals over it, putting fertilizer, we've got runoff. There's just a host of things that are wrong with these things that anyway, we're making headway, and I'm tickled. I'm very tickled.
We're glad to.
Yeah.
I'll be sending these violations on to you, forwarded when they come back to my office, but that's where they'll come back to my office, and I will forward to you, let you know what's going on.
Is it a big deal to cap them, or do they dig down and cover them, or what do they?
What they do is, they'll measure the water level, put chlorinated sand to the water level, static level, and then put a bentonite plug, and then they'll use clean soil to about 10 feet from the surface, put another bentonite plug up to 3 feet, and that'll be concreted, and then it'll be covered up 3 feet below the surface. It's not a big deal, but it's one of those things that just overlooked. The main reason I came this morning was to talk.
Let me ask one more question before. Say if this post or whatever is to fall down and the farmer plows over it or whatever, or something like that happens, can you find them again?
Yes. You can.
If there was a permit.
If it was an oil field water supply well, it was permitted.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to do that on their own, they're not?
When an oil field water supply well is permitted, it's permitted through the Department of Agriculture, and by state statute, when that oil rig stops drilling, they have 30 days to plug it or transfer it. That's state statute. At that point, if they transfer it, the landowner has 3 options. He can put it in active status, he can develop it, put a pump on it, do whatever he wants, or he can put it in inactive status for future use. He can put a cap on the top of it, put a barrier around it, and say, I'm not going to do anything, but it's in active status. The third thing he can do is he can plug it. Now, why would you assume the liability of a well and spend $2,000 to plug a well? Most people don't do that. Mm-hmm. But none of the above happened, and that's just where we're at. They're just left.
And there was instances where later on the oil field was coming back and reusing the well with nobody without any notice or permitting
Without
to be done.
updating
Yep.
their permits.
Yep,
Yes.
you've got to re-update the permit because that permit is expired.
Yeah.
It's just not there, it's not theirs.
And it's pretty
Exactly.
hard to police that because none of us, we drive by, we wouldn't have an idea what they're doing.
Yep,
Be real hard to police that.
and this program is at no cost to Cheyenne County. This is part of what the NWLEPG does. This is just what we do.
And I'm glad to do it.
One of the main reasons I stopped this morning was to talk about our billing cycle and how we bill. This came out in July the 1st, and you guys did pay your bill. Thank you very much.
Don't cash that check yet.
And interestingly enough, if we don't do any work in Cheyenne County, we don't charge you, okay? But our billing is based on a 5-year average. So every year that we do work, we keep those numbers for 5 years, and then the 5th year is thrown out, the new year is added, and that's how we figure our bill is on a 5-year average. So if we have a really, really busy year, we don't hit you real hard. It's spread out over 5 years.
Yeah, well, you continue to do good work, and I think we'll continue to support you.
Very good. The last thing on my list for today, the state LEPP program, people at the state level have been working on the revision of the model county codes for all the counties in the state of Kansas. When the codes were adopted in 1992, they were pretty general. Some of the counties in the eastern part of the state, of course, it was more extensive, and that'll be the same with the revision of the county code again. That will be coming in the spring. What I'm doing now is I'm giving you a code that was adopted in 2014. It was for Ellsworth County. These guys spent a lot of time rewriting their code. The state has taken a look at this and used it as an outline. It's very pertinent to Cheyenne County. The counties in the western part of the state are pretty close to what's going on in Ellsworth County. There's development, but they want to have control specifically for lot development and minimum lot size, things like that. It's a good thing to have in your code. Most of the counties that are readopting codes have a clause that requires property transfers to be done through the sanitarian, which is me. And we had a violation earlier in the month of a property transfer, and we caught some violations and got them taken care of before it was transferred. That's what we do. We get those violations taken care of, get wells plugged, get septic systems taken care of.
I know Cheyenne County had some questionable septic tank services in the past. Are we better shape now?
We're in good shape
Good.
right now. I don't have any complaints as right now. If we do, they will be taken care of.
Okay. Well, I know that was a concern a few years ago, those septic tanks were not installed or maintained correctly.
But I would ask you to review this, this county code and compare it to what you have.
That's just what I was going to say. How's this, have you had a chance to read through it?
Yes, I've had a chance to look it over. There's only 4 or 5 new updates to change from ours. I mean, ours sits fairly well, but it would be in our better interest to make the proper changes, which Tim would help us to make sure.
Yes.
it's done
Okay,
correctly.
and you're talking about implementing this after the first of the year?
Well, I'm going to wait until the state comes out with their model code.
Okay. So,
And
I see.
that'll be in the spring. We have a lot of reaction time now to look at this, think about it, think about your constituents here, what's going to work for the county. That's the reason I'm distributing this now, is to give you plenty of reaction time, rather than come back in the spring and bang my fist on the table and say,
And we're going to rely on DJ a lot to do the research and comparisons and see what would fit here. Yeah, I'm tickled.
very good, very good. Other than that, I don't have any big complaints right now. I'm happy to serve Cheyenne County, and you guys have stood behind the NWLAPG, and that's what it takes to make us successful, and we're here to serve you.
Well, it's an important issue that water is going to be it's already a valuable resource, but it's going to become more valuable as time goes along.
If you happen to look down through, where it is, your billing in your water tests, nitrates, and see where that's at. Nitrates at 35.8, 22.8, 15.9, 14.6. Our water level is changing. Our water is changing.
Yeah, we looked at that, a month ago or so.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the wells in the northern side of the county have a lot of nitrates,
Yeah.
higher nitrates.
It's north side.
Yep. And the closer you get toward Dundee County, the stronger they get.
Runoff?
Well, it's a change in the formation. We know that, but we don't know a point of contamination or point of entry. I can't answer that, but from Cheyenne County to Norton County, north of Highway 36, the nitrate levels are exceedingly increasing every single time I test. Atwood has a new city water supply in the last 8 years. Oberlin, new water supply in the last 10 years. Norton, new water supply. You guys right here, you're okay. But it's something that we all need
Our
to...
water comes south of 36.
Yeah, it's something we need to pay attention to. We're starting to have problems in Sherman County. We're starting to have problems in Thomas County.
And people need to stop and think just a little bit.
But it's something that you as commissioners will be hearing about in the future. And, the water testing equipment that you helped purchase was a godsend for all the constituents in all the counties that we represent. And we're using it daily, and we're very tickled to have it.
Good,
Very tickled.
good.
That's really all I have for you today.
Thank you very much. You guys got any questions or anything? Well, Tim, it's always a pleasure to hear from you. And keep us informed.
Okay, I will.
We'll support you the best way we can, because that's a resource we can't afford to lose.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
So when are we looking at updating? 6 months?
Yeah,
I would-
easily
I would say
waiting 6,
easily by
8.
this time next year, it'll be on the front burner.
So Terry's off the burner.
Unless you want to move it up. I mean,
Yeah.
I would move it up.
I'm afraid that might happen. There's quite a few issues come along here, but we'll see.
It's something to consider. That's why I brought it up today.
We appreciate it. And DJ obviously is on top of everything, so.
No, we have some great installers here in Cheyenne County yet, and a lot of the septic pumping problems have been taken care of, and we're just moving forward and just keeping an eye on things. I do get a few, what I call a cold complaint every now and again from one landowner to another, and of course, I'm out driving all over Cheyenne County. I see some of these things, and things like open discharge and that, I report immediately to Tim when I get, and we check into that, so.
Good. Good. All right, gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have any more items that need to be discussed this morning?
Motion to adjourn?
Sounds good.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.